What's your idea for a coaching program?
So I am a psychiatric PA, but I also have training in yoga and Ayurveda. And so my thought is that oftentimes we look at Western concepts of how to help with our mental health. And I think there's lots of basic things from ancient wisdom and simple things we can do at home to help our mental health without having in combination with Western medicine. So,
Okay. But what's your idea for a coaching program?
so I'd like to train people in using yoga and Ayurveda to reassess to help with their mental health. I don't know, again, being a Western medicine practitioner, it's anxiety and depression. So anxiety and depression often comes from the way we view things and how things are pretty much our cognitive distortions. So it'd be helping people not only with evaluate their cognitive distortions through techniques in Buddhism and yoga, but also like dealing with Ayurveda and some things that Ayurvedic things that are simple and you can do at home to help alleviate or not alleviate but also prevent anxiety and depression. So it would be a program, like an 8-week program that would show people. People think of yoga as postures, and postures are only one part of yoga. So another part of yoga is the cognitive behavioral therapy aspect of yoga, and identifying the way that you think, and
Hmm.
kind of a Buddhist perspective. So
Okay. So the person who would buy this is a person with severe depression or anxiety, is that right? Or are you trying to train the practitioners, other people out there, different ways of treating anxiety and depression with this?
So so having one foot in both avenues of anxiety and depression, I'm thinking that I'm not really comfortable at this point saying that it's for people with severe anxiety and depression.
Okay.
Um, I think that, a lot of people, medication is quite possibly, and formalized therapy does have a role. So maybe I hadn't really thought about it. Maybe it is training other practitioners how to use yoga and meditation techniques in their practice. So that's one thing. I kind of have a zygote of an idea. It's not a fully formed
It's not an
idea.
idea yet. No, it's something you want to teach, but there's no coaching program here yet. So the thing about a coaching program is it's about helping one particular kind of person to solve one particular kind of problem. So if you were coming along saying, okay, you have anxiety and depression, and you're looking for other ways to manage your mental health that gets away from Western medicine, certainly there's some danger associated with that. I don't know if you would agree with me on that one. There could be some very severe danger that's
Yeah.
associated with that. Okay.
So I have a license and can't, I certainly don't want to be telling people to manage their severe
Yeah.
anxiety and depression with breathing
Hmm.
techniques.
So, is there a category of people who would have a problem that needs to be solved that you could resolve with this? Like, I know that you know this could help everyone. But the problem is that everybody doesn't know that, you see? And so if you're leading with, I'm going to teach you Ayurvedic techniques, I'm going to teach you meditation, I'm going to teach you these kinds of things. It's kind of like it puts your price down because what you're not doing is associating it with a particular problem that people have that they're trying to resolve. So it could be, for instance, a program for people who have a lot of stress, and you do a stress reduction, burnout reduction from pulling you back from the brink of burnout type program. You see,
Yeah.
that could be one.
Mhm.
Then your ideal client is one particular kind of person, which would be the burned out executive, the person whose success is costing him or her every other area of life. And then what
Okay.
you have as a solution for that, you see?
Hmm.
That would be how you would
Understand.
resolve that.
Okay.
But at the moment, what you have is something you want to teach, but it's not a program yet. The other way
Hmm.
to do it is to teach um, people who have a practice a way of being able to integrate Eastern philosophy, stuff from the Eastern philosophies, into their healing. Now, what you have to do is make sure that you understand that this is, you're not telling people to create a dual relationship. So you have to be careful with that. You have to see who could actually integrate this, you could teach this to, and then you'd be training other practitioners in it, you see? Um, I mean, certainly anybody can go and get a yoga certification. It's probably $2,000 or something like $1,500, something like that. And they're going to a yoga studio for 10 or 15 weeks or something, and they're doing all this work and they come out with a yoga teacher certification. But you, with an understanding of mental health, what could you actually create, which is, a yoga, Ayurvedic based program which or approach that you could teach people, and do you are you able to do that, or are you at the practitioner level and to go to the teacher level be something completely different?
So again, I these are things that I, touch on with my patients, and I just find that this is something that lights me up. And so, I'm constantly pointing out things that they can do, and so I mean, I wouldn't feel comfortable at this point. I mean, I know a fair amount. I mean, I read a lot about Buddhism, and I've taken an Ayurvedic class, and I'm a certified teacher in yoga. So, I mean, I do have the background, but I think that I vacillate between the fear of, I don't know anything, and then, I do know something. So I get stuck in the what is it called, imposter syndrome. Like, I don't really know how much I know because this is the world I live in. So I don't know how many people know what I know.
Not that many.
Okay.
There's hundreds of thousands of therapists out there. There's hundreds of thousands of medical doctors, nurses, people like this that might be interested in something like this. So don't doubt the size of the market. But the problem is right now that what you're saying is, I want to be a meditation teacher, or, for people, but what in order, and you can be, but you'd be selling individual sessions for a hundred
Right.
and something bucks each or something, and
Sure.
doing it all day, every day, and doing the grind. You see? If
Yeah,
you want to
I
actually
see.
have a coaching program, you're going to have to figure out something specific for a specific group of people. You see?
Okay.
And
Hmm.
you have to address a problem that they identify as having, and then Ayurvedic interventions, yoga, meditation is a part of the solution that you're giving to them. But if it's not these things, then what you're not able to package this in a way that you can sell this for a decent amount of money and then serve your clients in a group program. You see, it's just kind of
Hmm.
like a method. So that's really what your homework needs to be, which is, what kind of person who could afford me do I enjoy working with the most? What do they need? Like, what are their what? How would they describe their problems in life? And then look for that big, expensive, painful problem that many of them have. And then what to do is create a specific program around solving that problem. And if you do that, you can sell for $2,500, $3,000. If you don't do that, you're going to have to sell for $150 an hour. Do you see
Okay.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't think that I had considered exactly who and what I'm trying to solve, who I'm
Mm-hmm.
approaching, and what.
And in that case, people cannot. But basically, the only person who buys from this is somebody who already thinks that yoga and meditation, Ayurveda, are a good idea. and
Okay.
already have decided it's the solution to their problem.
Okay.
But to call it to bring in the example of executive or busy professional, severe stress needs to be told what to eat, how to exercise, and when to do it, and then needs to be held accountable and needs the mindset issues that are going to come up and all the emotional stuff that's going to come up as soon as they actually start doing that work. They need an outlet. Then you have more of a program because what you're doing is you're bringing people back from the brink of stress and collapse, and you're aiming it at people with money.
Okay.
You see, that's what I would go with this if I was you.
Okay.
So why don't I don't think we can develop this more in this call, but that's what you need to think about. How does my particular solution or how does my particular work, what real life problems can I apply it to? And then the coaching program is about what you're applying it to. Because people say, I'm going to have to quit my job and that's going to cost me a lot more than $2,000. This woman's saying she has the natural solution, so I don't have to get on medication and I don't have to kill myself, and I'm not going to, and I'm also going to be able to lose 20 pounds and be much more collected and a much better decision maker at the same time. So,
So, so something like if people were on the verge of actually quitting their job, they just couldn't do it anymore, and they're looking for a way
yeah,
to just gradually increase their health and tolerability of their job so they can get in a better position to be able to, either tolerate their job or look for something else, like something like that.
exactly.
So
Because
I
think about it, what's the cost of quitting your job due to burnout?
so I had a job 2 years ago and I kept saying, I don't want to find another job. I hate this job. I don't want to find another job. I hate this job. I don't want to find another job because I'm going to have to take less money because I don't have experience in another job. And then what I ended up doing was that even though I said I didn't want to take another job because I would make less money, I just quit because I couldn't do the job anymore. I hated it so much. So it was more about like, how can I keep this job? What could I have done to keep this job to actually, sustained me and maintained me and helped me grow just, incrementally so that I didn't have to quit my job. I could have built a mindset that I could have tolerated my job and a
Mm-hmm.
healthy inside atmosphere so the outside atmosphere would just kind of bounce off.
So, how
So
much did quitting your job cost you?
$120,000.
So, a $2,500 program that helps you to be able to avoid that situation is well worth it, right? So now you're starting to see
I wish I had that.
exactly. Now, when you got quit your job and got a new job, did all the same stuff start happening until you changed your mindset?
So I hired a coach and I started just doing a lot of deep dive into like, what are my values and what how am I thinking? I did a lot of mindset work and it helped me to realize that I was thinking one way when I could have been thinking a completely different way and my perception of what was happening wasn't actually happening, and if I had just changed my thoughts, then I could have kind of challenged what was going on.
Mm-hmm. So, what you now have is you're fixing a very expensive problem for a particular group of people who need an answer right now, and they need their solution to be done right. They need to understand exactly what they need to do. They need it to work. And the cost of solving the problem is of not solving the problem is huge, $120,000. The benefit of solving the problem is continuing on this career path, and you have a personal story about how you solved this problem yourself. Because if you hadn't have done this work, the next job and the next job and the next job and the next job would have been exactly the same. And
Mhm.
that's your message to the
Absolutely.
burned out person. Every job you try to do is going to be exactly the same. You're going to be rebounding in and out of burnout. You're going to you're going to be stuck in this until you actually do the work that addresses the issue behind the burnout. And so we're going to do two things. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to immediately change a lot of things that you're doing through the day so that your health doesn't crash. And so you don't have to quit for physical reasons. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to address the reasons behind the burnout. That's going to make any job you do much easier. It's going to make sure the burnout doesn't come back again in whatever new job or whatever new business you get. And it's going to make sure that your career is sustainable. And all of a sudden, you've solved $1 million problem. Because when you look at this over 10 years, 120,000, that's 1.2 million. You see? And so if this person is struggling in this way and you have the solution to that, you have a coaching program. If you're just selling Ayurveda, yoga, meditation, you have a time for money practice. And there's nothing, I'm not saying time for money practice is wrong because we need these people in the world. I'm just saying if you want to have a high ticket coaching program, that's what you have to structure it around solving a problem like that, you see?
Sure. Well, good that I had that problem then.
Yeah, well, the fact that you have a personal story there makes your marketing stronger. I mean, certainly in the therapist world, you're told don't do self-disclosure and all this kind of stuff. In coaching, it helps you. Truly,
Mhm.
it helps
Mhm.
you because in coaching, what you can do is you can use your story as a way of establishing credibility and establishing rapport in your marketing with the person there, and because people want to buy from somebody who's solved the problem they have. They want to buy from somebody who's teaching hypotheticals. You see, you either
See.
have to have solved the problem in yourself and have some experience with others, or you need to have a ton of experience with others. You see,
Mhm.
for them to believe that and say, "Oh yeah, this person knows." So that's how we do it. That would be a valid niche.
Uh,
Obviously, we have to develop that more into a very specific offer.
mhm.
But I mean, it's probably something around success without sacrifice. How to be able to have success or success without burnout. How to be able to have success with and all the things you want in your life without burning out. You see, or you could call the program back from the brink of burnout. You see, that's the way that you can do it.
Okay.
Yeah, all of a sudden, your skills are worth 10 times more than they were 15 minutes ago. You see,
Mhm.
that's how marketing works. Very good. All right, I think you have it.